For full episodes as they air, listen to Rants Hollywood Talk on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and blogtalkradio.com/GrantsRants.
Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk.
Lindsay Lohan guests on Wendy Williams, and we're impressed. Paris Hilton is engaged, but what about Britney? Abby Lee Miller is gramming and tweeting up a storm from federal prison, or is she? Fern Ronay rejoins the Rants and brings some dating advice right here. Let the ranting begin. I am joined by a longtime friend of mine, author and host over at AfterBuzz TV, Fern Ronay.
Hi.
Thank you for visiting and coming by.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here, as always.
This is a treat because I get to see you 2 days in a row.
Yes.
Normally, I don't get to see that often anymore.
I know.
We went to a play last night, courtesy of Mark J. Freeman, also AfterBuzzer from the podcast here.
Thank you, Mark. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a little religion heavy.
Yeah, it was dense.
Yeah, it was called, what was it?
Freud's Last Session.
Yes, so.
It was great acting. It was
great
impressive.
Acting, yes, yeah. I agree, totally. So let's talk about a great actress. Oh my God, I'm really actually excited about the topics in this episode. This Lindsay Lohan interview on Wendy, I have now watched it a total of 4 times. 2 willing, like I was so into it the first time, I was like, I have to, and the second time I brought out the notepad for the show. And then the third it auto played. So I was like, well, I might as well do it again. And then you came over and you're like, let's watch it. So I was like, okay.
I am so impressed. Like, I compare her a lot to Britney Spears. And I thought for a long time, like, I wish Lindsay had Britney Spears' father to like whip her in shape and get her help. But now comparing the two, Britney is not, she's not like present in the eyes. Like, she's doing great. She has this show in Vegas. God bless her. But I feel like she's not there. And I feel like I'm so impressed with what I just saw of Lindsay Lohan. I feel like she's there and she's not blaming anyone. You can tell she has a lot of gratitude. I think she's over the hump. I never thought I'd say it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to disagree about Britney first. But yeah, my reaction to the interview is about the same. Like, overall, like, I thought it was really good. And like, I text my friend in Seattle and he's like, they needed this. The whole family needed this.
Honestly, when I saw both parents in the audience, I was like, this is shocking and amazing and wonderful. Like, this family has gotten over the hump of a lifetime.
Yeah, at least it appears that way.
It appears.
You know, I wrote down a lot of things. They discussed designing an island, Lohan Island. She's happily single and identifies as a heterosexual woman. Okay. And it's a jewelry and lipstick line, of course. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
I'm going to have one in a minute. She's working on a movie, Frame and Sick Note. So she's working. You know, I think the common misconception is like no one knows what she's doing for money, which Wendy asked. Wendy asked a lot of pointed questions.
Right. They were great questions. She asked everything I wanted to know. Like, why are you in Dubai? How are you making money?
Yeah.
How is your family here today?
Yeah. No, all the same stuff. She's closer than ever with Michael and Dina. Dina looked good. Hi, Dina.
Your favorite.
My fave. And I was so excited. You know, I've talked about it. Wendy said that basically Lindsay is like the most talked about guest, or the most talked about celebrity on her show. She may be on the show other than Housewives. I think Housewives beat her, but excluding Real Housewives, I think she's the number one on the show too. But I was most excited when she asked about Lindsay on OWN, because that was a show I covered on AfterBuzz. And I've referenced that at least 6 times on this show. So I was like, good, I want to know like what went on, because it didn't do her any favors.
And she was really honest about it. She said, I'm sure Oprah didn't appreciate this, but she said the producers were feeding her father lines. But once Oprah got involved, it became more genuine. But either way, it sounds like, it did her no favors. It wasn't going in the direction she wanted it to. And the only good thing to come out of it is, thank God she still has Oprah as a confidant and mentor, that the woman still wants to speak to her. Is good.
Well,
maybe she's helped her. Maybe that's why. Maybe Oprah's the reason she's doing so well right now.
She said they're still in touch closely. So
amazing.
I was just captivated by that series, and I looked it up. That aired in 2014, early in the year. So it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to me that, like, we're still talking about it, but
Yeah.
she hasn't done that much in between that at least has been on our radar. I mean, I watch, but, you know.
Right. Like, whenever I hear her name, I just assume she's still a mess.
Yeah.
So it's,
a lot
I guess,
of people do.
in 4 years, she's gotten it together. I think she did the best thing she could have done, which is leave LA.
Well, there are a few, speaking of that, there are a few excuses for events, which there always is. So let's take a look at what she said. So she said that she drove to the police station after her second DUI.
But there were like
guilty.
a million DUIs. But so her
so who's
second one,
counting?
right? Like, okay, so you get points for driving yourself. Were you still drunk? Like, that makes no sense.
Right.
Anyway, right, that made no
Right.
sense.
No.
But the best thing she said was, "I don't believe in drinking and driving." So it looks like she's an adult now. She learned her lesson. She's embarrassed by it, as she should be, and she said the best thing you could say.
Yeah, I've just seen her make a lot of excuses in the past, so wondering where the turning point is, if we're there or what, because this was peppered with different things still that, like, she's taken a little bit more accountability, but not totally. When you're that much of a mess, you just need to say, look, that was now 11 years ago, and I regret everything, and I looked like an idiot. But I didn't totally get that from her in a way. A little bit.
Because she did say,
More
like,
than most.
Yeah, I mean, I just expected her to. Like, I feel like Britney, you could wave your hand in front of her eyes and she won't
I totally
react.
disagree. I totally disagree. Because, like, she used to be like that 10 years ago, but it's totally different now.
I feel like, okay, we could talk about her in a minute, but
Yeah.
but I feel like that, I don't get that from Lindsay. Like, I felt like she was there, and I felt like she must be working with a life coach or a therapist or something, because she seems to be saying the right things, and I think she's a good actress, but it felt like she meant it, and like she's practicing it. Like, when you practice gratitude, these things like come out of your mouth naturally, and I could get some of that from her.
She definitely has a spiritual coach or some type
Somebody's
of
helping
thing.
her, yeah.
So other excuses were that she was up and down at American Idol. I don't know what that means.
Right. Was she like a celebrity guest on American Idol? That makes no sense to me. I don't remember
Yeah.
it at all.
No,
But-
who cares about American Idol? I can't even with
Yeah.
that.
I guess they were just talking about the last time they saw each other, and it was like a random idol
Yeah.
event. I don't know.
She blamed living in LA for a lot of her behavior. Okay. And she claims that she was, what is this? That she wasn't a partner. What is that? I don't remember what was that in relation to.
I don't know, but I mean, in LA, I think it was great that she doesn't live here anymore, because I think there are a lot of people here who would just hang on and get her drugs and get her alcohol and do whatever she wants just to be friends with a celebrity. And if she just stays in New York and Dubai, there are people there, it seems, I've had to generalize, who don't care that much about being friends with a celebrity and doing their own thing. And she's benefiting from being around people who aren't going to enable her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I wish that she was sort of out of the country, because she's never going to get her career back. But it seems to me like she's totally done with LA.
Yeah,
Like,
I
if
think
that-
so
she views it as
too.
the root of her problems, and that was her low point. And
I think it's good. I mean, I love
Yeah.
LA. I think it's the greatest place. But
Right.
for her, I think it's good.
yeah, I think that what that last point was, claims that she wasn't. Whatever that was, I think that was about the production company putting words in her father's mouth. So it was
right.
perhaps
Oh, she
another
wasn't a partner
could be
in
viewed.
the creating the
Right.
reality show. Right?
Reality show. So yeah, overall happy to see her. They really needed that good interview. I was really excited about it. In fact, I was going to listen to it in the car, and then I was like, no, wait, so you can watch it. Like, I just need something to look forward to. You know, we're in the middle of the winter. There's the world is falling apart. If Lindsay's
Need a
on
little
Wendy,
Lohan on Wendy.
yeah, I'll take it. But I'm glad to see she's doing well. And I hope that we can see more from her. I don't know what's going on with that prank show, but she's going to be on that show Sick Note. I looked it up. The first season, which she's not a part of, has already aired. It ended first season at the end of December. So whenever the second one rolls out, she'll be on that one. And I want to take a look if I can find it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll watch. What's it about?
It's about a man who was misdiagnosed with cancer, but he didn't tell anyone that it was a misdiagnosis because people are treating him differently. The first season was 6 episodes. I
That
don't know.
sounds nuts, but
Yeah.
could be interesting.
I don't know. She looks good in the picture.
She does. I like to see her acting like in a role.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So, wishing her well,
Yeah,
Lindsay. I'm happy that we can have this conversation and not make this into like a joke. Like Lindsay was on Wendy and she was a mess. Like it's nice to actually say, you know what?
So nice. I
Yeah.
am so impressed. I expected to watch it and have her just make a fool of herself, and she didn't. I was really impressed.
Yeah. She's
happy for
definitely
her.
found, I think, a greater being where she's coming
Yeah.
from. Yeah. And I love the cuts to the family, of course. So with that, let's take a look at my rant of the day.
Grant's Rant of the Day.
My rant of the day is, this is a little old. This movie came out in December, the tail end of 2017. But I can't with this movie, Downsizing. Have you seen the movie I will refuse to look at this movie. Every once in a while, there's something that gets me riled up. Like with the Wahlburgers on A&E. Like I can't even look at the poster for that. Like I think that is the most BS. I'm not even going to start. But Downsizing, who's in this? Matt Damon?
Matt Damon. Mm-hmm.
So it's about overpopulation in the earth, and they have to now shrink people down to 5 inches, and then it's about the adventures that come with being small. Is this a Disney original movie? Who greenlit this? Who's gonna watch this? And it's like, oh, so many stars on Rotten Tomatoes. That's another thing I want to rant about real quick. I don't give a damn about critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what it is that they have to be like, Rotten Tomatoes says it's amazing, or, the best movie, everything, the best comedy of 2018. It's like, we're like 20 days in, barely. I mean,
Right.
relax, the best comedy of 2018.
Right.
I just can't with the movie critic stuff, because I know they want to do whatever they can to get people into the theaters, and I get it. It's all marketing. It's fine. But
It's
downsizing.
still in this movie theater?
Yeah. And I
It's the
will
best
never see
movie
it.
of 2018 because it's the 12th or 13th day of 2018.
I don't know how they're marketing. I don't know if they're saying it's that for this, but it's like, if I have to hear it, there's Oscar buzz around a movie called Downsizing where they're shrinking people down. It's over.
Never.
It's over.
Right.
I'm really like this movie. It's advertised all over. I go by this big billboard when I drive home all the time, and I just don't get it. Even the art, the advertising for it, the marketing. It reminds me of a '90s movie like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like it's like Matt Damon with a white background and he looks like he's small, and then there's big words next to him that say downsizing. I mean, the whole thing doesn't speak to me at all. Like, I don't get why anyone, that's like, who would even say like, yeah, I'll approve and do this script and I'll shoot this film? Like, it seems so backwards.
I always think that. I'm always like, how did it get that far? It makes you realize how few people are in control. Like, it must have, I think. And then I feel bad for all of the people writing amazing scripts and they have to drive past the billboard for downsizing.
Like, are you kidding me?
Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
And for the life of me, now I have not seen this film, so save your mean tweets.
Me neither.
I just can't. I don't know what it's about. Like I watched the trailer twice. I read a blurb. It just said they go on adventures. Well, what's the story? Where's the arc? What do you do? I don't care. Okay, these people are small and now they're living in a small world, and they have. Like, I think they have like a thing of like a Grey Goose or something that opens up, or Absolute Vodka. That's like, okay. I'm not into, like, I don't know. I just can't with any of it. This is, I just can't rant enough about it. I even showed my mother the trailer when I was home. It was like, what do you make of this movie? Is this something you would ever see? Like, I just can't get over it. Again, the views are my own and not those of NBC Universal or anyone affiliated with me. It's just me being a bitch.
No, it looks stupid.
I just can't with that movie. It's so stupid. Every once in a while, something comes along. And now that it's award season, I get really pissed because you have to hear about the same 4 pictures over and over and over and over. And I'm just not that interested.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this has been my rant of the day.
That's my opinion!
Well, I gotta bring down my blood pressure from that because, I will never see the movie Downsizing. But what I would like to see, I'd love to see some of the wedding, Paris Hilton's wedding.
Oh, I know.
I'm curious. This show is going to be a throwback because we're talking Lindsay, Paris, Britney. And
The trifecta.
Yeah, Roseanne is coming up later in the show. I mean, we're going back at what's old is new again. Mm-hmm. So
Sure is.
Paris is engaged. She's 32. She's engaged to a age-appropriate 32-year-old.
Very nice.
She's anticipating to have 3 weddings in global locations. I want to see all three.
I want to see all three. I remember when she got engaged the first time to a guy named Paris, and they were going to have a wedding in Paris. And I was like, I cannot wait. And then it never happened. I've been waiting for her to get married for a long time. I'm happy for her.
Now, look, I'm not saying Chris is not good looking. He's fine. He's an actor, but I think she's settled at this point.
Oh, you think?
I do. Maybe he seems to like fawn over her. They were interviewed at the HBO party after Golden Globes, but I don't know. She's dated some real lookers from all over the world. This guy just seems to kind of be on a different level.
Interesting.
Not necessarily bad, just a little bit more average than the beauties that she's had before, if I will say.
Oh, interesting. I think that gives me hope that this is going to last, because she doesn't like him she likes him for him, which is all that matters, because we all get old. And I think he's cute. I didn't even think about it. I just feel like seems happy. Like she seems like loves this guy, which is all that matters. So I hope it works out for her. She's waited a long time.
Yeah, I mean, she has a $2 million engagement ring. I don't know how I feel about the future of this marriage.
I hope it lasts for her sake. She probably sees her sister, who I think probably genuinely married for love, seems to be genuinely happy.
Mm-hmm. Her brother's engaged. Her parents have been together forever.
For a long time. She's probably like, when's it going to happen for me? And she's like 36, I think.
Yeah, she is.
So I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
I hope it lasts.
Yeah,
I like that he's not a supermodel.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, because she said in an interview once that really impressed me. She's like, we're all going to be 80 and old one day, and it doesn't matter. Like, so I'm with you.
Yeah, I got a kick out of her.
I do too.
She still does really well. Like, she's still very relevant around the world. So.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on her. Someone else who could be engaged, Britney Spears, to a 23-year-old.
23-year-old fitness model.
She also is 36. Him 23.
That was some red flags. Right? When I read 23-year-old fitness, not that he's a fitness model, who cares? But he's 23 and she's 36 and a mom too. And I mean, I know it's a different world. It's not like she's a regular person, but I hope he's a good guy. I hope it works out for her, but that's a little concerning.
I thought he was 25 for like a year and a half. And then I read, it's like, oh, never
So when
mind.
they met, he was probably 21.
Or 22, yeah. So the thing is, though, with Britney, maybe she, and I don't know her, but maybe her personality is very young. Maybe because she didn't really have the opportunity to grow up that much. Maybe she's more 20-something than she is 30-something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they should be getting married, because they just met a year ago on the set of Slumber Party, a music video where
all great loves begin.
she crawled across the table to her new man. I mean, good for her. I love it. But she's on the beach. The boyfriend's not there. She's on vacation with her two sons, and she's wearing a ring, and they said it's on that finger. Mm-hmm. Who knows? I don't know. Why would a 23-year-old ever want to be engaged? And she told the press, and I believe it, she doesn't believe in marriage.
Oh, good.
Why would she? She's been married twice. Let's not forget.
I believe in marriage, but for someone who's been married a couple times, one for a couple of hours, yes, to not the greatest guy in, the second one, not the greatest guy in the world. Like, just give it a break. It's good to go and say you don't believe in marriage, and then when you really meet the one, like, that's it. Mm-hmm. Good, Britney.
I think she should have a lot of men in and out of her life.
She should. She has the kids. She should just enjoy herself. And then when that one great love comes along, fine. But do not marry the 23-year-old fitness model. Please. More importantly, she has so much money, and I was trying to get a close up to see what was really on her finger, and her nails aren't done. Like, get your nails done. I shouldn't talk, but I mean, I always have like something like a sheer. She has. I'm probably the only one who noticed this, but her pinky finger wasn't painted. Like, you have so much money. You should have a manicurist.
She has so much time.
And right, like, what are you doing during the day? Get your nails done.
I know. She has one plan for 2018 scheduled, and she's doing a show, I believe it's in Denmark, and that's like it.
Oh, so she's not doing the Vegas show anymore?
She ended the Vegas show herself. She called it quits on New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
And so there's more to that story in a minute, but I don't know what she does, and she Britney's taking a year off, and I hate to say it, and I've said this before, but year from what she had the show, she was like 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off, like she would do 3 weeks and then take 6 weeks in between and then come back for 3 more weeks. So it's like, unless and this is a rumor that she's putting together a new album. Now that could take some time. And
that makes
especially
sense.
if she wants to do some international travel, like she has kids, that's enough. I get it. But if she's planning a wedding and taking a year off, I'm not okay with that.
No, and she should not be left idle to like just do nothing.
I will say the evolution of her show, in the beginning there was a rule where you could pay to go and meet her, do a meet and greet. It was insanely expensive, and you could take a picture with her in front of the screen with all the logos in front of it, the step and repeat, and you had to be next to her and there had to be space. No touching, you couldn't have any interaction in the photo.
Okay.
The photos made for some very awkward photography.
Seriously.
It was like 3 Pete fans and Britney like 6 feet away. Like it was a little odd. At the end, she had her arm around people. She threw her cape up against one guy. Like,
Good.
She was really engaged. She sang live in the Vegas show one night.
Right.
One night after 4 years. But she has become more comfortable and gained more confidence. So I'm happy for her in that. And I loved the New Year's Eve performance, all that. But now it's being reported, at least through Page Six. She has not confirmed that she has signed a new Las Vegas deal, starting in 2019 at the Las Vegas Park Theater at Monte Carlo. And that's after Lady Gaga completes her residency. Gaga's not going to start her residency until the end of this year. So I'm waiting, but I'm not waiting by the door.
Right. So it could be a while.
Yeah. I would love to see it, but I mean.
So you think she seems with it these days?
I do, from what I've seen, because I follow her very closely, more than really any other celebrity. So I do.
Like, I feel like when she was young, when she had the snake around her, like she was there. And then she went crazy. And then I feel like I'm glad that she got help and I'm glad she's doing well. But I feel like she's not there.
See, what people will seem to forget, and Lindsay said the same thing, is that was in 2007 to 2010.
Yeah.
So that's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot can happen, So that's how I feel. Like it's all the stuff that we stick on her is from like years back. There's been nothing, there's been no fallout or like clues or anything that's happened within the last 5 or 6 years.
But in her Instagram posts, you think she seems like the same like presence as when she had the snake around her?
I think so, except for the only thing that she lacks is the eye contact that she doesn't really have anymore with like in her music videos and her performances where it was like really intense, That's the only thing.
She's
like
lacking eye contact.
Yeah, that I will say. But I mean, she's dancing more than she has in 10 years. Her body is tight.
Her body looks amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
God bless her.
Yeah, I mean, she's got full custody of her kids and all that. So she's, if as long as the law of the land deems her normal, I will accept it too.
I will. I'm happy for her because
Holy Spirit, ladies and gentlemen.
Nobody can say anything but how sweet she is. Like everyone, everybody's got something to say about some celebrity that they've met. Nobody's ever had a bad word to say about her. Like all anybody says is how sweet she is. So I'm thrilled that seems to be doing well.
Yeah. I just wish they could have I want her to go to like Paris's wedding. That's what I want.
I want her and Lindsay Lohan to go to Paris's wedding and they take a picture in the limo like you've got here.
And that will go right up in Studio G. That will go right up. I'll be at CVS running it off the night of. I'll go to a 24-hour one.
Poster sign.
I love it. Well, I don't know if you ever looked at this show that Tim Allen had called Last Man Standing.
No.
It aired on Fridays on ABC for apparently 6 seasons.
Yeah. Who knew?
Who knew? Did you watch Roseanne when Roseanne was on?
I wasn't a huge fan, but it was on. Like I knew about it, and yeah, I've seen it, but I wasn't a huge fan.
No, me neither. Like it was on. I think it was on. I don't know if it was Nick at Night or if it aired like reruns on Fox. Like 7:30 at night, or like opposite Judge Judy. You know what I mean? Like late afternoon, early evening, syndication. But my grandmother, she is not receptive to Roseanne's return.
I heard.
If you want to hear her reaction, that's episode number 79. But there's a bunch of controversy around these two because Roseanne is coming back. Tim Allen's show is not, but Roseanne is coming back, and will be a Trump supporter. Her character will be on the show. Do we need this? Why? Why? Like, she can be, but if like, who was going to want to see this if it's just going to be her with Trump jokes the whole time? Like, there's enough of that. People want to escape that. Like, look at the shows that are popping and hitting, like This Is Us, and these popular sitcoms that are not politically charged. Like, stop, And I fear this with Arrested Development. I don't know when that's coming back because there's a lot of controversy with those actors, but that's supposed to be all about Trump too.
Oh, right. I have such news fatigue. Like, I have such drama fatigue from like the news, and I want an escape.
Right?
I don't want to. I don't want to hear it, but I feel like Will and Grace. I love that show, and I love that it's back.
Yeah,
and they make a lot of political jokes, but it's not overrun with them. So if she is saying her character is a Trump supporter because it fits the character, like it wouldn't make sense to bring back Archie Bunker and have him be a liberal. Like she's like it fits the character. I'm totally fine with that, but don't overrun the show with political jokes. People want an escape. They just want to laugh.
Yeah, I'm thinking the more that we talk about this, maybe it will be something light, like some light humor in between. Maybe it's not going to be about him or consistent humor.
Right.
But that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
Like maybe this article is just making it sound like it's going to be all about that because they're trying to paint her as the bad guy because fans of Last Man Standing, Tim Allen's show, are really upset because that show took a conservative stance and they thought that it was canceled. Now, the show did better than Shark Tank, The Goldbergs, and Blackish in the ratings. According to this article, I thought Blackish did really well. I didn't know that this show did better than that. So they're saying that it shouldn't have been canceled, and they think it was canceled because it took a conservative tone, and now we have to sit through Roseanne having the same type of tone. But Tim Allen, he was behind it and was like, you know what? I want the show to come back. I'll be in the driver's seat. Let me know.
Yeah.
So he really is still a proponent.
I would love to see a network be like, yeah, we made a mistake. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be refreshing.
Oh, wait, the show with so much success, why couldn't it have been sold somewhere else? You know, when we saw Nashville go to CMT, and that lasted for a while. The Mindy Project went to Hulu.
Right.
Now with this Fox Disney purchase, the Disney company owns the majority stake in Hulu now. So they could easily just put the show over there. Now, is the audience for Last Man Standing a cord cutter audience that watches OTT and watches Hulu? I don't know.
Right, yeah. Probably not.
Probably not. But, they're really making it out to make Roseanne look bad, these fans. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to me that they would cancel that show. They just dissolved comedy from their Friday night. ABC, notoriously a mess. I don't know what they're doing.
Really? Okay.
Especially in this climate that they have over there to cut a hit show on a Friday night, which doesn't do very well. Stupid.
So, I hope they bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not that I watch it.
Yeah.
I would never watch it, but just to have someone do something different, just to have them admit they're wrong. I'm so sick of these statements that are like giving reasons that are so obviously not the real reason. Like, just shut up. You made a mistake. Fix it.
Yeah. I can't imagine that it costs them that much because multi-camera comedies are the cheapest type of television show. Basically, that's why you have so many talk shows.
Right.
It's easy for these fledgling cable networks to put out something multicam. They're not dirt cheap, especially if you have someone like Tim Allen attached. But
still,
as far as, they're the cheaper options. So they probably were really blindsided because the ratings were good. The show was cheap to produce.
Yeah, makes no sense.
It had a time slot for 6 years.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I don't feel too bad for any of these people. They're all making tons of money. The jury's still out about Roseanne. I don't know if I'm going to watch.
I don't think I will. I didn't really watch religiously when it was on. Like, I remember when it was on for real, like in its prime time. And I didn't watch. I wasn't a huge fan, so I probably won't watch this time, but I might be curious and check it out.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, when we return, we're going to be looking at Abby Lee Miller, Tales from the Crypt. We're going to talk about some news coming out of her camp, literally, and Real Housewives of New Jersey. That and more with Fern and Ronay in a moment.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back talking with Fern and Ronay. Welcome back.
Hi.
So let's look at Abby Lee Miller. She was described on the Thanksgiving episode of Grant's Rants as a thug. And I think that's really appropriate.
She's a thug.
She is. Now, she's sending out posts from prison. Now, we do not know if she's actually doing this herself. Didn't one of the house husbands have this trouble?
And Teresa asked Gia to tweet for her, and then she got in trouble.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. I was going to say, like, why would you want to do that? Unless if you had it approved. And I can't imagine anyone giving them that approval. To be like, sure, hey, let me take your request, process it, and approve of it. That you can tweet and Instagram. Someone can do that for you while you're in prison. No one's going to do that.
Right. And is it that important? Like, just go away, be quiet, and then make a big comeback. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't risk, like, violating any rules.
No.
And have to stay another month
for social media. Or is it worth it?
Not worth it.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to come back to her full potential, though. I really don't. I don't see how she can come back. It's over.
Isn't the show so popular?
It's canceled.
Because that AfterBuzz, it's like so huge.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah. It's gone now. So she's sending out posts, and I'm like, Abby, is that you? She says that she's starting to get bored. She misses teaching. However, she did choreograph a Christmas dance in prison.
I would pay, like, I watched a few episodes of Dance Moms. I thought it was funny, and fascinating. I would pay pay-per-view to watch her scream at inmates in like their orange jumpsuits, like doing like a kickball change. Oh my God.
Well, she must have been so frustrated because I can't imagine there's a prison full of professional ex-dancers in fit shape and ready to, to do leaps and all this stuff. I mean, to me, all those dances she choreographed were the same. It was that one girl, Maddie, doing 6 different things at once, rolling on the floor. So I can't imagine how advanced this was.
And these fellow prisoners listened to her? And like, did she talk to them the way she talked to her girls?
I hope.
I hope so too. I can't imagine. I would love to see it.
I know. That's the only thing about her that I do like. It's just that how she goes from 0 to angry so fast.
She's nuts.
She really is. And I of course, she would find, and I think that's almost something I would do though too. If I have no plans to go to prison, but if I were ever there, I feel like I'd find a way to find the creativity and to try to, use the minds and creativity of these people to do something. Like I'd put together like an improv troupe or something. Like we would have to do something creative to find your people.
The time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
so
find your
she's a leader. Yeah. She's a leader. So I'm sure she was like, you look slim.
Limber.
Yeah, get over here. You're doing this. I'm like, well, wait, what is this? You're doing it. I can just see.
Oh my God, I would pay.
And her New Year's resolution is to dance daily. Well, there's a visual for you.
Has she ever danced? That was the other thing. I was always like, how is she bossing them around? Like, I want to see her in her heyday dancing. Like,
I read that she only was a teacher. I read that she never was a professional dancer.
Which makes no sense. Like, you have to, although they say those who can't teach.
I think she's a classic example of those who can't teach.
She's the prime.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Abby Lee, enjoy it while it lasts. She's hanging on. I think she realizes that, so she doesn't want to be completely off the grid. She has to do some type of social media outreach. But it's almost like you said, why jeopardize things? Like,
honestly,
if you walk out of jail and you're never on a red carpet again, you're still out of jail.
Exactly. Like, be grateful for that.
Yeah.
But I thought Teresa was, like, I didn't know the kind of comeback she would make, and she's totally impressed me, oddly enough. So I wonder if she'll come back and, I don't know. I like to see people be successful. Maybe she'll come back and have like a show with all like ex-prison people whose lives are changed through dance.
Well,
who knows?
It's not the right timing, but she'd be perfect on Celebrity Big Brother US.
Oh.
And that's coming back in February, so the timing isn't right. I will say, shout out to Celebrity Big Brother UK. Anyone who's listening to this podcast who watches CBB UK, let me know. Message me, DM me. I think all my DMs are open. It's Valentine's Day coming up, so all the DMs are open. But let me know, because I'm not secretly. I'm openly watching the show, but it doesn't air here in the States, and I have no way to talk about it with. And I think it's so good.
It?
It's a mess. It's like there's like two elderly women, young guys, Genuine the rapper, one of the Kardashians' friends, a bunch of nobodies. It's wonderful. It's like a hot mess. So I'm so into it, and it's daily. So every day I have like a little 40-minute treat that I watch
daily. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's intense.
It is. It's so over the top ridiculous, and the hosts are fantastic because they know how stupid it is, but they like treat it so seriously. So I love it. Just side note for Celebrity Big Brother. But yes, it's people like that. That's what I want to see on this upcoming Big Brother on CBS. They still, as of time of recording this podcast, they still have not announced who's going to be on it. Now, the show airs in less than a month. So what is going on? It's going to compete with the Olympics, which is interesting.
But it has such a huge following.
Yeah.
Right?
So, less than a month away, let's get this going and let's drum up some press. And they always wait till like the week before. Now, Celebrity Big Brother UK, they announce live, they make you watch to see who's on the show. So maybe that's their strategy. They're like not going to say anything. But in this day and age, you're going to promote this stuff. If you're up against the Olympics.
Right. You better get started promoting. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you mentioned Teresa, Real Housewives of New Jersey. The end is near. Apparently, this reunion is going to be kick-ass. It's supposed to be really good.
I can't wait to see Kim D come out.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
The glamorous roach that she is.
And she just incites these like really visceral reactions, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't love her, but I love,
Siggy, I got a message today. Lois, big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of hers. She's like, you really were too easy on her in your last review. And I was like, honestly, I have nothing left to give.
Yeah.
I have nothing left to say.
It's just such a shame. Like, I feel like I'm like so loyal where if I love someone the first season, I will just defend them in the second season. And it got to a point where I was like, I have to stop watching because she's indefensible.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like Lisa Rinna, loved her first season. And then her second seasons after that, she was hard to defend. But like, I just wanted to like hold on to my original feelings for her. That's how I felt about Siggy. And then she just went nuts. I think the producers told her like, you have to bring it. It's great to be lovable the first season, but now you have to bring it if you want to stay on. And she just didn't know how to do that and went overboard, and just such a bad look for her.
What broke for me, I could understand the whole cake thing, like that was probably an emotional thing, like whatever. I mean, it was stupid. But when she got on her back in her own house with a house full of guests and started screaming at the top of her lungs, spread out like Jesus Christ, and that was when I was like, whoa. Yeah. I've never seen anyone do that. I've been around people who have had breakdowns. I've been to some crazy parties. I've been a hot mess myself sometimes. I've never felt the need to like do anything like that.
Yeah, no, she's insane. And it got to the point where I stopped watching. Like, I watched the finale, but there were some episodes in between that I just stopped watching because I was like, it's just not enjoyable. It was just not enjoyable entirely.
Now, Margaret, someone who at first sight perhaps I wasn't too interested in.
I wanted to hate her. I wanted to hate her pigtails, and just I couldn't. Despite myself watching the finale, I was like, she's not so bad. I like her.
Yeah, I mean, for the first few weeks, I was like, where'd they find her? Like, who is this? And then I found out that she was like a big producer get, and they've been trying to get her on the show for years. And I was like, why? But the more I saw, especially when you're up against crazy, you tend to look a little bit better too when you're the one who's making sense.
Right. Which is, Siggy gave her that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love Margaret's hustle. Like, she's out there doing all these shows. She was at CES in Las Vegas.
Good for her.
Trotting her mother out there. Like, they're making the most of this season.
Yeah.
And for that, I say, good for you. Because I would do the same. Like,
completely.
why you have like, and Leanne Locken in Dallas did this too. You have like 5 minutes to strike it while it's hot.
Yeah. And I feel like those people are grateful. They're like, let me take my chance. Like, I got my chance. Let me take it.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, why not? They realize that it could be fleeting. Unlike someone like Nene, who just takes it for granted and throws her weight around.
Yeah.
Unlike someone like Lisa Vanderpump, who just, really just ruins the show with that contract of hers. So that's the stuff that I don't have any patience for.
Yeah.
Do it to do it and to have a good time and realize that, it's for the greater good, not to try to make money off of it like the way Lisa Vanderpump does.
Right. They all think they're going to be the next Bethany. They're going to get their own talk show. Right. Just take it for what it is and get your name out there.
However, Bethany, though, now she's got skinny girl jeans. There's a rumor she's creating a dating app. I mean,
she's the last person who should be creating a dating app.
I know.
Oh my God, I would not take relationship advice from her. Ever.
No, she's a mess.
I think she's funny. I love watching her. The housewives have fallen off for me. Like, I feel like Beverly Hills, OC, and New Jersey kind of have just like not been exciting to watch for me. But New York always, like, I'm always like, I watch it for entertainment and I'm always entertained by New York.
Yeah.
And she's part of it. She's so funny.
Taking the Twitter temperature, a lot of people feel the same way. Everyone, like with OC, I think that most people will give it a second shot because it was just a bad season. I always say I love the show, hated the season. But yeah, I mean, I'm not excited about Atlanta. I'll be honest with you, I'm not excited about Beverly Hills at all. Potomac is coming back. Everyone knows I have no opinion about that show. I can't be bothered. New York is a bright light. I'm looking forward to that. With or without the Lohan scandal, I was in already.
Completely.
So like, I'm good with that. But I Dallas, of course. Now there's a bunch of talk about Real Housewives of Nashville. When does it stop?
Right.
You know, it's fine. But again, I say this all the time. Why aren't we looking into the last uncharted region, the Pacific Northwest? You know how much money is up in Washington State?
Oh, right.
Silicon Valley?
Right.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, they should. I'm sure there's so much. Maybe they're too smart. All those the computer geniuses are like, I'm too smart for this.
We need to see tech money. That's what we haven't seen yet. And there's a lot of it.
There is plenty.
So that's what I need to see.
I want to see their houses. I want to see the gadgets in their houses. I want to see, that's why I started watching these shows, because I'm like, I'm so nosy. I want to see peek inside these people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Nashville's a cool city, but I don't know if that should be their next stop.
Right.
So, as for Watch What Happens Live in Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa was on with her sister-in-law, Melissa, and that divorce attorney picture came up. And, you know, this girl needs to have kind of pre-programmed these answers before she goes on shows like this.
Give her a line to memorize, because it came off so clearly to me that she'd never met this woman before, even though she called her a friend. Melissa had never met her before. They can't be that good friends. And she was obviously talking about getting, what would happen when Joe's released. And I never thought in a million years Teresa would ever go there. But after seeing her evolution since coming out of prison, I just never gave her the credit that she would change at all. And she has changed a bit. Like I think she's more grateful for her family. And I never thought she would never be anything but blind faith toward Joe, completely loyal.
Yeah.
And I mean, she said it blatantly. She resents him for the time she lost with her mother. Who can blame her?
Right.
Any thinking person would feel that way. She just was never a thinking person before. Like, I don't think she has a lot of thoughts in her head. She's just like, I don't know, she's Teresa. So I'm kind of impressed that she even, it's not a good feeling to feel resentment toward your husband, but that she's processing that says a lot. And that if I had seen her with a divorce attorney a year or two ago, I would be like, it's just another, that woman I think is a Bravo celebrity.
Oh,
I think,
she?
Yeah. So I'd be like, it's just another Bravo celebrity. But now I think, despite the coy, getting great advice, I think she probably was talking about her options.
Yeah. I mean, if you really are friendly, what else would you be talking about?
I know, honestly.
What's the topic of conversations?
Honestly, her twisted response about who was getting the advice, like, shut up.
Teresa, the smartest thing she could do is get divorced. Not only for her, but for her image. People would rally around her more than ever. People would more than understand. It would only help her image. Now, of course, it wouldn't help her family, and she is all about the daughters.
Right.
So, I mean, that's her decision. But, I mean, there's no shame in even considering it. Who would blame you?
And if he moves back to Italy, he probably is going to have 50 girlfriends anyway and do nothing all day but, like, drink wine and talk and just... I think he would be a pig and she would just live here and maybe find another great love. Who knows?
Yeah. She's
not that I'm
overdue.
Encouraging divorce, but for the two of them, I mean, after all they've been through, and who knows?
Things are going to be very different when he comes back. She even said that on the show. It was just, it has to be.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, let's talk about the opposite of divorcing, finding love. No topic with this one, but we just want to catch up with Fern. Fern, you said you had some advice about...
I did. I was like thinking recently, and I just see all these things on social media about, being single in this day and age. And I just think, like, what would I have told myself 10 years ago or more? And I just think, like, I would have said a few things. Like, I would have said that it's a numbers game, that there are 7 billion people on the planet and you only have to fall in love with one. So every person you meet up until you meet that one it's not going to work out. Like, you could be sad about every one of them or not sad. Either you don't like that person or they don't like you, whatever the reason is. It's going to be not work out until it works out. So just hang in there and go out with everyone. Well, not everyone. We'll talk about that in a second. Because it's a numbers game and you just get closer and closer till you meet the one. Don't go out with everyone in the sense that, be picky in the sense that if it does work out with this person, would I be okay with that? So if you're going to accept a date with someone who's divorced and has 3 kids and be like, I just want to have fun. Well, no, you could fall in love with this person and then he's paying alimony and child support. Are you okay with that? So if you are okay with that, fine. But think before every day I could fall in love with this person. Will it work out? If you're extremely religious, if you're extremely, on one side of the political spectrum, you could fall in love with this person, whoever it is. Think of that before you go out with them. So it's a numbers game. Think before you date, but try to go out with as many people as possible and come up with a list. Like, I had a list of I'm so methodical, and I was like, I want this, 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 and this. And then I just assumed like my husband would be Italian and whatever. I ended up falling in love with a Jew. He's the love of my life. And if you had told me, I was a CPA, I was a lawyer, everyone I knew in New York was in finance or law, that I was going to marry a guy who comes up with commercials for a living, I would be like, first of all, I'm Italian. I'm not super religious. I'm Catholic, so I don't think I'm going to marry a Jewish guy. And comes up with the commercials, that's his job. Is that a job? I had never even heard, when I met him, I'm like, that's a job? It sounds too fun. I would never in a million years. So it's good to have a list, the things you want, but there are certain things, particularly the labels, that you have to let go of.
Yeah.
That you have to be open-minded enough to just go for it. And lastly, trust your gut. I don't know what it was that made me say yes to going out with my husband, but there was some guiding force that was telling me go on lots of dates, say yes, be open-minded. You could fall in love with this person, so be careful, but when you feel it, go with it. So something told me go out with him again. This is a good person. This is a solid person. I feel like everyone says it, when you really do. So just go with your gut. Such generic advice, but it's so true.
Right.
It's so true.
Well, sometimes it's as simple as that. I mean, the concept of meeting the right person is not that, abstract. Like you said, it just happens when it does.
Yeah.
I know. This is good advice for pre-Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And for me.
I don't know where it came from. And I was just thinking about it recently. I was like, what would I tell myself? I would tell myself those things.
When I was home, my father even said, you on any of those dating apps? And I'm like, yeah. But even he was like, so I guess that really is what I have to be doing.
And I feel like those dating apps are just another avenue. So I did Match, and then I met my husband at a bar. So I feel like when you put your energy out there to say yes to the universe, yes, I'm ready to meet someone, you could end up meeting him or her somewhere else. You just never know. But if you put yourself out there and you put yourself in that dating frame of mind, then the universe delivers you dates.
Yes, and that's
true.
what I have not done until recently. I don't know. I would be open to, is this weird? I would be open to a long distance thing because I'm very independent.
Yeah.
And I like to travel and I like, I connect with certain people in certain places.
Well, if it's a long distance thing in a city you'd be willing to move to, I would be like, of course. But if it's a long distance thing in Nashville, which is a wonderful city, but you don't want to live there,
No.
I would be like, you could fall in love with this person, and then what kind of predicament
Right.
would you be in?
Yeah, you're almost setting yourself up for trouble. Yeah.
So I would
yeah.
but if you
try to find someone who's
Right.
open to a long distance relationship, though. I mean, with people with so much trust issues, and it's so easy to hop in bed with someone nowadays. I mean, it's like, talk about setting yourself up for trouble.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm a very independent person, so it's something I would consider, but who knows?
And if you're like, such an independent person, I feel like then the right person won't necessarily have to live in another city, but also be independent, so that, you're like with somebody who also cares a lot about work, getting things done, isn't needy, doesn't need you. Like when my husband and I were dating, I didn't have to, I wanted to see him a lot, but I'm also very independent. I would be like, all right, I have things to do. Like, you got to get out of here, which he totally understood. Like, you want to be with someone who's not needy, who trusts how you feel about them and isn't concerned. And you both, can be comfortable with another independent person.
In your opinion, how often should people, while dating, not engaged or anything, how often should they see each other in a week?
I think once during the week and then on the weekends is fine.
Yeah, like
And
a
if you
Wednesday dinner.
Yeah,
and then
that's what we used to do.
Yeah,
because I had a job that was 1 million hours. He had a job that was 1 million hours. We couldn't see each other every night, and we also didn't want to, in the sense that like we're so tired and busy, and you want to look forward to seeing each other. So we had, once a week during the week, and then we'd see each other on the weekends.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, you're talking to someone who's never been in one.
No.
So I'm really like, I'm like in relationship 101. So thank you for joining us for this course. Yeah. I mean, I'm figuring it all out. So let's talk about how you're a moderator at a Facebook group called Believers in Signs.
Yeah.
I'm part of the group as well.
Yes. And it's for people who believe in signs from the universe, signs from their loved ones who've gone before them, and who, when you come across those things and you want to share it with people, sometimes, there are people in your family or in your life who you want to tell these things to, but they're not believers, which is fine, or they just don't get it. Or, they would say like, whatever, you saw a ladybug. What, you think that's your grandmother? Like, there are people who just don't get it, and that's fine. But if you want to share it with people who would be like, yes, like so excited for you, you don't want to make it public. This is a private group on Facebook. You can join, and we're all rooting for you. We want you to see your signs. Tell us when it happens. It's exciting for all of us. And then people also share stories that they see in the news of, things that they come across that we can all, this is a group of people who would all appreciate those stories. Right.
It's like everyone's on the same wavelength of believability and kind of sharing those moments.
Exactly.
It's a very interesting read, to see things pop up on your newsfeed from it.
Yeah. And thank you.
It mixes into all the mess that's there.
Yeah.
Whenever I can find a post that doesn't have Donald's head on it, I'm like, oh, what's this? It's like a dog opening a can or something. I'm like, I'll open it. I'll read anything else at this point. So it's a nice, refreshing thing if you're looking to add something new to your news feed.
And if you do have stories like that and you're willing to share them on the internet, share them privately, fine, like join the group. But also if you're willing to share them on my blog, fernronay.com, I have a blog, and I share stories of people how they came across what their sign is, who it's from, and the times that they've seen it and what it meant to them. So if you're willing to share it, let me know. And I also have blog posts about how to ask for a sign. It doesn't matter if your loved one has already passed. Ask. They can hear you. They're here. Trust me. So and email me and tweet me any questions. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah. Again, the name of that group is Believers in Signs on Facebook.
Yes.
Fern, thanks for the chat.
Of course.
This is so easy and fun.
I know, so much fun.
Chat amongst friends. I got some dating advice. That's a first for Grants Rants. And we talked about a plethora of people and things. So we'll be back with more rants. We can find you
Congratulations
online.
On all your rants. They're all awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that the show is still going.
It's great.
Number
it's so
80.
Great. It's amazing. Congratulations.
So, thank you. Where can we find you?
And anything
you want to promote? The book?
Yeah, well, I'm working on book 2, but Better in the Morning is available on Amazon, wherever books are sold. And I'm working on book 2 and hopefully submitting it in the next few weeks. And you can find me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, making a fool of myself on Snapchat. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but whatever. Find me. You can laugh at me. At Fern Ronay, Ronay.
Thank you very much. I loved having you as always.
Yeah.
And please keep up with the show. Tell a friend to listen. If you enjoyed the show, chances are someone in your life will as well. So let them know about the show, and we'll be back with more rants.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon. Follow us on Twitter @It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by Ronay. Voiceover by Aw Yeah. Original theme music composed by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.